from wild, personal questions to full-on walkouts, and even interviewers acting like straight-up haters. Hip-hop interviews can go way left real quick. Today, we're breaking down some of the most awkward, disrespectful, and flat-out disastrous interviews in rap history, starting with Logic versus Charlemagne. Also, real quick, I know I'm late saying this, but thank you for 400K. I've been sick recently, but I seriously appreciate all of you. We're on the road to 1 million, so hit that sub button and let's keep it going. Let's get into it. Now, Logic isn't a stranger to controversy. In fact, he's often clowned online, sometimes fairly, sometimes not. But this time, people actually had his back. It started with his first visit to the Breakfast Club in 2014. Logic came in clearly grateful, treating it like a big moment. But Charlemagne? He came in with zero chill. One of the first things he did was dive straight into Logic's biracial identity. And if you know Logic, you know that's something deeply personal to him, a major theme in his music and life. Charlemagne clearly knew what he was doing. But Logic stayed cool, kept things respectful, and rolled with it. Still, Charlemagne kept poking, cracking jokes, throwing passive-aggressive jabs, and bringing up personal stuff like, "Your sister, she got raped, right?" "Yes." That actually happened. People called it one of the worst questions ever asked in an interview. Logic somehow kept calm, but the comment section destroyed Charlemagne for how disrespectful he was. Fast forward a year later, Logic goes back on the Breakfast Club, and surprisingly, it picks up right where it left off. Charlemagne started comparing Logic's music to Kendrick, Cole, even Drake, then turned around and told Logic not to compare himself to other artists. Hypocrisy level, expert. And then, Charlemagne threw another curveball. "I saw this Vlad TV interview where you said you wouldn't feel comfortable listening to a gay rapper talk about kissing dudes." Logic was caught off guard and denied ever saying it. He defended himself, clarified his support for the LGBTQ+ community, and tried to move the convo forward. But Charlemagne wouldn't let up. Right after Logic gave a heartfelt explanation of how his music aims to help suicidal fans find peace, Charlemagne hit him with, "So what are you doing for Black Lives Matter?" At that point, it was just trolling. Yet again, Logic didn't lose his cool. After both interviews, fans overwhelmingly sided with Logic, praising how composed he stayed and calling Charlemagne a hater. But Logic didn't really clap back. Not until 2019 when he dropped the track Clickbait and said, "I don't do the Breakfast Club, 'cause Charlemagne is shameless." Do your research before you call someone homophobic. You make a living off controversy. And you know it. Charlemagne's response? He made Logic Donkey of the Day, roasted him, said nobody even wants him on the show, and called the diss a cry for attention. No real beef came from it, but that bridge burned. And while fans had Logic's back, Kanye didn't get that same love in his viral moment. By now, Kanye's had so many meltdowns it's hard to keep count, from the Taylor Swift VMAs moment to more recent controversies. But back in 2013, one of his most iconic outbursts happened live on Sway in the Morning. To understand the tension, you've got to rewind a bit. MTV had just dropped their hottest MCs list and put Kanye at number 7. Not surprisingly, Ye was heated. He called into a radio show and vented, specifically calling out Sway, claiming, "I gave Sway his first TV, and he need to remember that." Sway later clarified, yes, Kanye helped him get a TV show, but no, he didn't even vote on the list. A month later, Kanye came on Sway in the Morning, and the interview started off okay. But once Sway questioned why Kanye needed help from brands like Adidas to build his fashion empire, Ye snapped. That's when we got one of the most legendary rants in rap interview history. "You ain't got the answers, Sway." Kanye started yelling, repeating it over and over while Sway tried to calm him down. Sway, cool, calm, trying to reason. Kanye, unhinged, shouting, and bringing up Harriet Tubman and the French Revolution. Eventually, Kanye apologized, and the rest of the interview played out without much drama. But the internet ate that clip up. Years later, in 2022, Kanye finally admitted, you know what? Sway had the answers. Took him almost a decade to say it. In 2017, fresh off the massive success of Bad and Boujee, Migos sat down with Complex's Everyday Struggle, hosted by DJ Academics, Joe Budden, and Nadeska Alexis, at the BET Awards. Right away you could feel the tension. Joe Budden barely said a word. Body language, closed off. Attitude? Cold. Academics tried to steer the convo and keep it upbeat, until he asked Takeoff a now infamous question. Why weren't you on Bad and Boujee? Takeoff responded with, do it look like I was left off Bad and Boujee? They went back and forth, and the energy just got weirder. AK tried to smooth things over with compliments, but Joe, he was over it. He interrupted and said, we gotta wrap this up. Ak pushed through, tried to close it out respectfully. But Joe stood up and literally walked off the set. That's when all hell broke loose. Migos stood up, clearly pissed, and things almost popped off. Security had to step in, and the whole situation went viral instantly. Later, Joe explained on the radio, I didn't want to talk to the Migos. I've never seen a good Migos interview. And if you don't want to talk, don't give me attitude. So I left. Then he doubled down on Everyday Struggle, saying maybe it all stemmed from how he treated Lil Yachty, another QC artist. The Migos ended up dissing Joe on a track preview, and Joe clapped back on Twitter. But the whole situation eventually fizzled out. Still, that moment, Joe walking off, Migos standing up, is forever cemented as one of the most tense interviews in rap history. From Logic keeping his cool, to Kanye not keeping his cool, to Joe Budden walking off mid-interview, hip-hop interviews are unpredictable. Sometimes hilarious, sometimes uncomfortable, and sometimes legendary for all the wrong reasons. Let me know in the comments which rap interview moment you think was the wildest, and if I missed any big ones. Thanks again for 400K. Don't forget to like, sub, and I'll see y'all in the next one.